All right, let's talk about one of the most haunting and genuinely baffling disappearances in recent history, the case of Andrew Gosden. It's a story where we have a timeline, we know exactly where he was going, we even have a picture of him just before he vanished. But the one thing we don't have is any clue what happened next. And that right there, that's the heart of it. A super bright 14-year-old kid buys a one-way ticket to London, gets off at King's Cross Station, walks out into a city of millions, and is just gone, never seen or heard from again. So, to really get why this case is such a head-scratcher, you first have to understand who Andrew Gosden was. Because on paper, he was the absolute last person you would ever expect to just up and disappear. I mean, just look at this profile. The kid, who his family called Rue, was a genuine math genius. We're talking prize-winning level, already on track for Cambridge. He had a perfect 100% school attendance record. He was quiet, a real homebird who loved his family, and he was into heavy metal and video games. The night before he disappeared, he was just chilling, doing a puzzle with his dad. There were absolutely zero signs that anything was wrong. Okay, so let's walk through the morning of September 14th, because the boy who never, ever broke routine suddenly carries out this plan that was so precise, so deliberate, and yet to this day, it just makes no sense at all. Look at how this morning unfolds. He leaves for school like any other day, but he doesn't get on the bus. Instead, he waits for his parents to leave for work, then he walks to a cash machine and takes out almost all his savings, £200. Then he goes back home, changes out of his uniform into a t-shirt and jeans, and then walks to the train station. This wasn't some kid just running off on a whim. This was a plan. And this detail, this is maybe the most telling one of all. The ticket clerk at the station literally offered him a round-trip ticket for just 50 pence more. It was a no-brainer. And Andrew said no. He specifically wanted a one-way. That one decision seems to shout that he wasn't planning on coming right back. But then, the clues he left behind tell a totally different story. And this is where it gets even weirder, right? He takes his favorite thing, his PlayStation Portable, but he leaves the charger behind. He takes 200 quid from his bank account, but leaves 100 quid of birthday money just sitting in his room. He doesn't take a coat. He doesn't take his passport. It's like none of this adds up to someone who's planning to be gone for a long time. And yet, he bought a one-way ticket. So what was he thinking? So, after a quiet train ride, where a witness later said he just seemed totally normal and engrossed in his video game, Andrew arrives in London. And what happens next is the climax of his journey, the last time we know where he was for certain. So here we are, it's 11:25 in the morning. Andrew Gosden steps off the train at King's Cross Station, and the CCTV cameras there capture the last confirmed image we have of him. This is it. The footage itself is only 25 seconds long, just a brief, grainy, absolutely haunting glimpse of a boy walking with purpose right through the main concourse. He doesn't look lost. He's not panicked. He doesn't seem to be in a rush. He simply walks straight through the main entrance, out onto the busy streets of London, and from that exact moment, poof, he's a ghost. Every single trace of him just vanishes. Back home in Doncaster, his parents had no idea anything was wrong. The panic only started to set in that evening when Andrew, who was always on time, didn't come down for dinner. For his family, this was the start of a living nightmare, and it was made so much worse by some critical mistakes in the early search. And this quote from his dad, Kevin, it really gets to the heart of it. This isn't something that happened in the past for them. It's a constant, never-ending state of panic that they've been trapped in for well over a decade. And the search was it was really hampered from the get-go. Get this, it took the police 3 weeks to even find that CCTV footage from King's Cross. By then, any other video from nearby shops or ATMs, anything that might have shown where he went next, had been wiped. And on top of that, there was a total digital black hole. Andrew had no cell phone, no social media accounts, nothing. For years, there was just nothing. No credible leads. Then, in late 2021, a huge development. 2 men were arrested. It was the first real hope in years that they might finally get an answer. But after a long investigation, almost 2 years later, both men were released without any charges, and the family was thrown right back into what they call living in limbo. So after all this time, after all the searching and the false hope, we're left with the exact same question that his family and the police have been asking since day one. Right? This is the whole puzzle. Everything we know about who Andrew was, his personality, his habits, is the complete opposite of what he did that day. So let's quickly run through the main theories. 1, was he going to meet someone he met online? It's possible, but there's just no digital evidence of it. 2, Was he going to a concert? A couple of his favorite bands were playing in London, but again, leaving the PSP charger makes an overnight trip seem unlikely. 3. Running away to start a new life just doesn't fit with the money and passport he left behind. And that leaves the most disturbing theory of all: foul play. Was this quiet, non-streetwise kid met by someone at the station with terrible intentions? Today, Andrew Gosden would be 32 years old. It's just a stark, heavy reminder of how much time has passed and how long his family has been waiting. So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought, the central paradox of this whole case. He bought a one-way ticket, which suggests a plan to leave for good. But he left his charger, which suggests he was planning to come back. This contradiction is everything. What do you think it tells us about what was going through his mind on that day?